If I'm required to take a fairly rough piece of timber all the way through until I achieve an optimum surface finish, that process will demand multiple grit sizes.
So if you want to put the absolute best finish you possibly can on your woodworking project, you're going to have to follow the grit sequencing, so you don't want to be skipping grits. So this first image here, on the left hand side there, you can see a scratch pattern that's been created by a portable sander belt, so it's in line, and the image on the right is being created by a DA, a dual action sander, so you can see the swirls. Now that's an 80 grit. Now as we move on, we've gone down to a 120, and what we've done with the 120 grit, we haven't jumped too many grits, but what we've done is, with the 120, we can actually start reducing the depth of cut that's being created by the previous grit size. So the next grit size you see is a 240, and again, because we haven't jumped too far, the disc isn't having to work too hard, or the belt isn't having to work too hard to reduce the depth of cut. Okay, so what we want to do is get right to the bottom of those cut marks so that we're completely flat, so that we can get the absolute best finish possible. Now if you look at the image right at the very end here, what we have done, on the image on the right, you can see that we've actually skipped too many grits. Now when we've actually sanded back with a 240 grit at the end, even though it looked completely flat and the finish looked absolutely fantastic, when we've added the stain to it, we've denibbed it, and what we can still see underneath is those swirl marks, and that's because we've skipped too many grit sizes, too many jumps, and we haven't got rid of the previous cut marks, the depth of cut created by the previous grit size.